Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, dude. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? Thank you.
Yo,
Thank you for coming.
yo, no problem, man. How you doing today?
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna fix the microphone real quick because Discord loves to
Wait, what?
mute me.
Where are you from? So I'm because also the region can be changed.
Yeah, like 150 ping or so.
You're Europe.
Yeah.
Okay. And presto, you're. It's probably way better for you now.
Uh, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's better than listening to stream because stream has incredible delay
Oh yeah,
for
no,
me right now.
definitely don't do a coaching lesson through stream delay. All right, dude. So
Okay, so
you tell me the
uh,
plan. You tell me the plan.
I thought something like about my games right now are kind of mess. I make things up on the fly. So, for example, I played ZVP today, and I saw earlier today one Russian Zerg played like link heavy pressure style, and he went 3 base, like 40 drones, mass links 1-1, and I like okay, I'm gonna do that, and the difference was the Protoss opened into Archon drop, and I got smashed by 4 Archons. I couldn't defend at all.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm doing some random stuff and trying to make it fly, but I just crash all the time. So basically, a month ago or so, I farmed like for 4600, I think, with some cheeses, all-ins. Like I played basically like 3 to 5 build orders in all matchups.
Sure.
16 hatch in ZVZ. It was like 3 base, 36 drones, Roach, Ravager, Ling, all in ZVT, and like something similar in ZVP. Like 12 pull ZVP into Nidus Queen or something. And then I really realized, okay, I need some understanding on how to open properly into the macro game, because when I get to the stage of having 80 drones, I think I can beat like all the players of my level, because I watched the game really for a real long time, I understand it quite well
Sure.
in a late game, but I can't quite get there. So for example, yesterday I died five times in a row in ZVP to some random 2 base lanes
Yeah.
until I realized, okay, I need to watch Serral. I watched some Serral replays, and all of them were all Stargate openers, and that doesn't happen in my ZVPs.
Yeah.
Protoss opens like Glaive, Charge Push or something.
Okay. I feel like I already
I got
know.
smashed by.
I feel like I know a build that'll already help you out with a lot of this stuff, and it'll
Yeah, I need like some kind of standard openers
yeah.
in 3 matchups, and then like play them for a month, and I come back to you with the results.
Okay. Here,
So I think that will get me like to the point of 47, 4800 maybe, and then like I can provide you with like replays, proper questions, like
sure.
when I won't know what to do actually.
So ideally, just to make sure we're gonna do the right thing here, you just want me to create a build for you in every matchup, and then kind of explain some fundamentals of why they're important and what you're doing, and that's it for one for each matchup.
Yeah, like
Uh,
one good standard opener that leads to the macro game, and
yeah.
like some kind of plan
Okay. Yeah.
in macro.
Okay. So we'll just start off
So
with
for example, in ZVT, it would be like what I used to do in beginning of Legacy of the Void. I used to do one gas opener. So I went for one gas, full 3 base saturation, quick force, like 9 queens or something, full creep spread, defend everything with like shit ton of links and queens, delay my layered for like a minute or so to get quicker upgrades, delayed my spire in order to get fast 2-2, and then like 10 or 12 minutes I just crush every turn. I crush the falls, and I don't know,
sure.
finish the game
Y-
from that point
Yeah.
because they don't have economy and I do.
Nice. Well.
that in every matchup.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll do. I'll do like the Zerg versus Protoss and the Zerg versus Terran one is going to be somewhat similar for the opener. The Zerg versus Zerg one will definitely be
Yeah,
a little
that
different.
must like similar because it's link speed into like 3 queens and
Yeah.
even the Cryptoma I used to double inject in ZVP. Now I inject and Cryptoma
Yeah, I think
also.
one tumor is really good for sure.
I don't get to spend all the larva anyway, and I'm getting stuck in 3 larva per hatchery, and this I'm missing the production
Yeah. Well,
because I could like put the Cryptoma and still do good and have extra Cryptoma
so
for the division for the fights.
basically, you're just you're going through phases where you're owning the shit out of people, and then out of nowhere you're like, well, now I'm struggling and I'm not really sure what's going on. I would just say,
No, I mean it's not like a phase. I understand when I why I lost. For example, if I push people and actually have a actual game plan, like okay, I'm gonna kill this guy at like 6-0-0,
sure.
and I go for it. I make like 3 gas, 8 roaches, 8 ravages on the fly, shit ton of links into the reinforcements, and I just crush the fucker. And I'm sorry for the strong language.
You're fine.
And yeah, and if I don't have the plan, I just float around. I can like
Well,
be like,
I'll give
okay,
you that.
I want to kill his sword, but I want like make 20 links for drones and then 20 more links. Like that doesn't make any sense actually.
I'll give you the plan, dude. I got the plan for you. Don't worry. This build is gonna be something you're gonna love. It's probably something you've already done before, anyways. There might be like one little minor
I
alteration.
went through every possible opener ever,
Yeah.
but I
Well, here-
never actually got stuck to anything. I just keep rotating stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes mindlessly, sometimes I try to read opponents, and then like 3 BCs teleported into my main, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I just had only 3 queens altogether, and I have my Spire on the way, but I had my Spire, and I already ordered like 10 Butas in production.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, 3 BCs, I'm just gonna rape me from this point, and I'll just tap out without a GG.
All right. Well, here's the plan. Okay. Here's the plan. Send 2 overlords.
Speedlink expand, double queen,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's correct.
Yes,
Fuck.
third hatch. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, baby. And then
Yes.
what we're gonna do beyond this though is
Up until this point, I have all this figured out. Yes.
Okay.
Like this.
what we're gonna do after this though is we're going
I go for
to what's it called? Take a roach warren when we're fully saturated on 2 bases. That's like the first thing that I think is going to fix a lot of your problems, which is instead of going mass speedlings, you get the roach warren to deal with this shit. Because if you're dying to things like Archon drops and it's just an adept and charge lot timings.
Archon dropped. I didn't die to Archon. Actually, in that game, I like lost a bit of drones on third, evacuated, killed, pushed away the DTs. He tried to morphin into Archons, and I just killed both morphin Archons with Spiglings. I'm like, okay, dude, now you're dead.
Yeah.
And I went for the Spilling push, and he went like, okay, I have the Dark Shrine. I'm gonna make 4 Archons. I came to his sword and just, well, Spidlings won't do anymore. At all.
Yeah, speedlings are if you get the advantage, speedlings are pretty good.
I tried to morph 20 Bailings, didn't work.
Yeah.
Just tap it out.
All right. So right now, I'm going to throw the roach warren down now. I am also going to start a layer right now. This would be the time when if you got tabs like
Okay.
with your overlord scouts, if you knew, okay, this guy's going for
On this point, I know what he went. I know that's like it's a Stargate or
yeah, exactly.
Twilight or something.
And if you would have been going for anything that's not a Stargate, like Twilight Council first especially, I would highly recommend making a Spore right now. Because if you are assuming there's a good chance it could be DTs, it's going to be a problem, right? You need to...
Like, if I don't have a layer at 330, 340, I mean, I just go for the Spores.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, it's it's if I didn't scout or I scouted the Stargate or I scouted the Twilight Council first, so I just go for the spurs.
Yeah.
Because usually toss some of them allow like to push with 4DTs first, then fall back, more Falcons, fly to my base again.
Yeah.
Like and some of them just go for the Archon drops immediately, skipping the DT attack phase.
Yeah. I would say right now too, I just made a round of drones, and you should stop making drones on 2 gases and 2.5 mineral lines if it is not a Stargate. If it is a Stargate, you can get away with making drones like I just did. But you don't
Noticing that I'm doing literally not like this.
the what?
I would have missile or melee
You would have an Evo chamber already.
like halfway done.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's
halfway done.
too early, way too early. The only way that makes sense is if you're gonna go for a pure melee style with the Zergling, and you're gonna do
Oh,
like
guys, yes. So for the roaches, I don't need
you don't.
+1.
Yeah, well, you'll get Evo chambers, just not like right away. It's not.
No,
something,
I mean, so I
like if you
force out the speed first.
if you're getting upgrade on Evo chamber before layer or before roach speed, that is incorrect.
Oh, okay, I see. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. That one I had like for centuries actually.
Yeah.
Because if I go roaches and I don't want the pure Link Bane style or like Link Bane Hydra style, but with the +2 melee,
Yeah.
I usually try to like improvise something which leads to my +1 range and roach speed finishing at the same time.
Yeah. +1
You're like just
plus
going fuck the upgrade. I'm gonna go Hydra then and then Evo Chamber.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you prioritize an upgrade really early, all it does is it makes you have things that are not going to be done in time for when you're like if you're getting attacked by charge lots and you have an upgrade in the fucking bank that's not done yet, it's not going to be done before you're dead. Like
Yeah, I died to chargers by the way.
yeah,
New
like
chargers
it's
are just insanely good.
it's too much.
I couldn't
Go ahead.
them with roaches on creep. The new charge lot. The guy just went every time I tried to kite him, he just move commanded forward and ran right near my roaches.
Yeah.
He didn't like. I couldn't hit and run at all. Okay, I'm lagging for a reason. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hopefully you don't drop.
Windows 10 wants me to update the system. Fuck you, Windows 10. I don't want it now. Fuck you.
Well, like right now, this is around the time when you could transition into whatever you wanted to. If you want to play a Lingbane Hydra style, you totally can. You can go into Hive behind this and go into like a Spire.
Okay, so basically what we're doing, we're going like 9 Hydras. Okay, I don't get like why do we need a Hydra then in this kind of opener?
Well, it depends on how you want to play. Do you want to play a Lingbane? Like I don't know what style you want to do. I just it's we're getting kind of caught up here on a lot of different points that we're talking about, and I'm not 100% sure what style you actually want to play as. But the opener we had with roaches, this will keep you safe from all kinds of all-ins, no matter what it is. And I was just giving you the most basic fucking opener as the transition out of this, which is Lingbane Hydra.
The thing is, if I get to the point when Toss is playing like 3 base, if I didn't die up until 7th minute or 8th, like for example when guy sits on 2 bases for like 3 minutes straight, goes out like with 5 immortals, 4 archons, and I get smashed for no reason, then I'm usually the winner of the game.
Sure.
But I just can die to some ridiculous shit, and I literally had games when I thought, okay, this guy is dead. He can't kill me at all. I had the better economy for like 3 minutes. I have shit on roaches, I had shit on no links. There was no way I'm losing this fight. I go A move, I micro a little bit, and I'm just like, well, what? How did I just die? His left was like four immortals, 2 Archons and Warping.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel what you're saying. Do you want to really quickly? I didn't really get to talk a whole lot during that game, but do you want to jump back in there and talk about it really fast about like what the points are, or do you just want the replay?
Yeah, let's look.
Okay.
A real quick one. Host watch with others. I should.
I got you. I can host it.
Okay.
All right. So, basically, the way I kind of see this build going. Oh shit. Hold on. Are you like?
Okay, I have some error.
Okay. I was gonna say.
It couldn't, and that's it. I had an OK to press. Can try again.
I'm trying to invite you, but I can't right now. I guess you can try and host it because I honestly can't invite you anymore. That's like some bug.
Okay, well, let me host it. I bet it's some kind of interference between Europe and NA.
But I'll say,
like
just throwing it out there, the build really.
Should I make you a host?
Yeah, sure. Also, I can control the timer.
Yeah, okay.
The build, it really gets kind of set with. The opener is set up to Roach Warren, but then once you have.
Yeah, I think this Roach Warren will fix like my ZVP entirely.
Yeah,
because
I think so too.
I'm like really like to die to some random shit.
Yeah.
It just happens, and I think the reason the fast evolution chamber.
No, 100. Yeah, you don't want to be
really like, because the +1 seems like good, but I think it's my misconception.
It's good versus Stargates. It is not good versus Robos, and
yeah. I'm not playing the actual standard openers. I just. Okay, so you went.
All right, so it's about right here.
To Cryptomus.
Yeah. So.
There. By this time, I feel like I should have scouted the DOS earlier, because I like to go like 230, like YOLO go in.
Yeah.
Because if Gate is not making stuff, or like if it even makes a stalker, I know that's it. It's a Twilight or Robo, because if he makes a stalker, he wouldn't get the Stargate out.
There's a high chance it's gonna be a Twilight, but yeah, like don't Overlord Scout.
Yeah.
Exactly like I did this time. Do it the way.
Oh, suiciding? I'm just poking into his main and like into his natural, or like right here. Are you exactly on this map?
Yeah, like
just similar Overlord setup. I poke with this Overlord. How do I fucking make? Do you see this?
What? I can't see your ping. Do it again. Yeah. What about it?
No, I don't see it. But I poke. I see his wall, so I see if it's like fast second gateway or not, and I see units being produced or not.
Yeah.
And I see which kind of units, so I can like make assumptions. If there's a sentry, I just know, okay, this guy is not gonna push me like for. I can delay my spores.
Do you?
If it's a early sentry.
Do you send a second Overlord normally, like how I have on the top?
Yeah, that one. And I poke a bit up until like first unit or building, so he can't see the Overlord, because Overlord has the greater vision range.
Sure.
And I poke him and trying to see what's going on. And if I get the first technology building, if it's like a Stargate, I know, okay, we're gonna put a sword down, we're gonna drone to the 60, I guess. Put a spurs, get out like 6 queens, and play a good game. And the guy goes like Twilight, and I'm okay, I'm gonna die for no reason.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you don't really want to. If you can help it, definitely don't just assume things though. Like if you see their unit, I know you're checking the wall, you're going in, bouncing back and forth, seeing what they're building. But you definitely, if you can, want to see more as to like what it actually is. At the very least, you want to see gas timing.
Anything? If I don't like confirm something, I just go for the like safe spores, trying to get units in case there's Archon drop still. Try to control like this area and this area to see a prison flying out.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to control things, but I sometimes miss. I sometimes get caught off guard. Sometimes I don't have flings in position and have like two Archons dropped and Queens can't deal with them because Prism is in position, Archons are in position, and I didn't like jump on them as a Prism flies in my base.
Well,
If I don't start,
all I'll say is I like if we're talking like we're talking Evo Chamber type stuff, okay? If you see a Stargate and you want to go Evo Chamber,
okay.
totally fine. But if you don't see a Stargate, if you do not confirm it's there, don't do it, and instead do the build we're doing right now. It's probably the easiest way to talk about it with scouting.
Okay.
And then so Roach Warren, always throw that down.
Should I drop Roach Warren early against Robo first?
No, you're fine. If he does an all-in with like really low amounts of Robo units before you actually time it normally, your Speedlings will just win the game. Speedling Queen will kill it because there won't be enough Protoss basically. So
okay, so I just Musclings. Okay.
Yeah, because you're getting speed either way, so Speedlings can deal with that if it's that early. But if it's like a standard opener where it's like he could be doing many things, and you're gonna play the build the way we just did it here, once you're fully saturated on the natural, that's when you take the Roach Warren. And that's also when you take a second gas.
Okay.
So we should be taking it, and also you put 8 drones on the third, and you have a second gas. So 2.5 mineral lines off and 2 gases. And then once you get
okay, can you like round a bit to like 340, 330?
Sure.
Around that time. When do I put the drones back on gas?
You put the drones back on gas as soon as
so.
You take 2 drones off right away, but then you put two drones back on when you have 16 on main natural. And then you're also taking 8 drones on your third. And once you have 8 on your third, you're also then taking your second gas to have 6 drones on gas and 40 on minerals. I'm rewinding a little more right now.
Okay, so that's 2 gas, 2 gas, Roach, Link.
Yeah, so Speedlings.
Okay,
yeah.
So I really shouldn't miss an inject him with this style. Okay, I see.
Yeah, because your queens as well.
I'm screwed.
The queens as well is you do like we said already, you do inject tumor with your first 2, and then it's permanent injection from that point on. Your next queen that spawns, you only make queens 1 at a time out of your natural from then on. The first one that spawns after your first 2 is always a tumor, and then it goes to your third to inject, and then the next queen after that is pure tumor.
Yeah, okay, I see. And okay, so I get 16 drones. Yes,
and Roach Warren should start now.
More from the next.
And this Roach Warren right now.
Yeah, Roach Warren. You 5 drones.
What?
And 6 links. You make 6 more links.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, you need to make links right now, and here's why. Okay, if this Protoss is gonna do a adept timing to you with resonating glaives, Roaches will be out in time to deal with that. But if this Protoss does an adept time,
but I need quick responses. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, but if he does an adept attack before resonating glaives, you will not have Roaches in time, and you need more lings for this. Because if he shows up with like 5, yeah,
questions.
Sure.
What amount of links should I make if he goes like 1 adept, 2 adepts, 4 adepts?
Since you have
since
you have speed, it's really easy. Start off with about if there's 1 adept that comes to your base, I would say 6. If there's 2 adepts that come to your base, I would say 10. And then you're gonna have speed really quick.
Okay.
After that, and then no one really goes to 3.
Then I have speed, and then it's irrelevant because he just dies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
So yeah, 6 and 10 for 1 and 2 adepts.
Okay.
And
yeah, so I go Roach Warren, I go Lair, I go drones, I go.
Keep in mind too, 8 drones on your third is very important. Do not skip that. Like you want to definitely get that.
Okay, 8 drones third. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and then from this point right now, you can do many things. If you scout, you're gonna get all in by like Century Immortal. Take more gas, go Roach Ravager. If you scout, you're gonna get Charge Lot all in. Take not as much gas. Like so, let me give you some numbers, okay, just to make this not confusing. If it's Century Immortal and you know that's coming, go up to literally 5 gases now. Maybe make another like.
It's like thought needs third and fourth gas, right?
Yeah, like you just like throw down your gas in your main and throw down like an extra gas in your natural or something.
No, I mean how to scout it. Is it like
when you look at his wall, like literally when you go up to his doorway, if you see a robo first,
I see units. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you also see sentry. So that's one really common all in.
I see.
Then it literally just make extra gas, go Roach Ravager. Another way to do it.
What about the Margari stuff, which is like 2 immortals, 8 gateways, charlots stuff.
That that'll come later. Or that. You won't see anything at the.
That hits like.
No. What I meant to say was like
Really early.
you won't see anything at the door for that really because he's going to be like stacking his gates all at once. That comes down heavily to knowing if that's happening with an overlord, honestly. But either way,
Okay.
either way, okay. This is how it kind of goes. Scout around with your Zerglings around the map to see if he's going to take a third or not. If your opponent does not take a third and you have droned to a point where you have 2 gases and 3 fully saturated mineral lines, if your opponent does not take a third by 5 minutes, 5 minutes is the magic number here. No matter what build you're doing, go up to 4 gases and start making roaches. So it would be right now. We'll speed it up. Right now, you should be on 4 gases right now if your opponent has no third.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
That's confusing. Okay.
It's okay. Let me.
If he doesn't have sword, and I go like, if I go 11 mod rolls, that's like 53, right?
So yeah. Okay, here.
No.
You will, yeah. So I made extralings this game to deal with the quote unquote potential adept pressure. In the production tab, we have roaches also being made right now in case of the quote unquote potential pressure. And then we have a round of drones. If there was no third right now, you would stop droning forever until you defend a timing. Because if there is no attempt,
roughly saying, if there's no sword, I should go only to 42 drones.
But the thing is though is
Roughly.
Most timings will not kill you when you're in a position like the one you're in right now, for instance. Like here's a idea for you. If you have speedlings and you did not deal with any adepts at all, and you scout his base and you're like, this looks like a mass gateway fucking charge lot all-ending Protoss, just send your lings across the map and smack his wall. You don't have to necessarily lose your lings, but you can literally get away with the drones we just made and just make roaches from now on, and your lings can force weapons defensively, possibly delaying the timing longer. Because if he doesn't like respect it at all, you can potentially break into his base and just kill his economy.
So I just distract him, trying to buy time, build roaches. Okay, I see.
Because if you stop droning on equal economy to Protoss, if they're 2 base and you stop droning at 42 and Protoss also, let's say, has like 40, you could very potentially slowly start dying over time because you're not building units at a fast enough pace. Because Immortals trade like crazy good against roaches, especially with the Prism. So you do need a little bit of a lead.
I need like. Okay. So as a rule of thumb, I can take something like that. I poke. If I still have the overlords on his natural, I just split the amount of probes, build like plus 4 drones, because like 2 saturated bases. 32 plus what's that? It's 42. 42 is 2 saturated bases with gases.
42 is
44.
44 is perfect 2 saturation bases.
Yeah, so I go for like 48 drones if there's the gases, and like 42 if there's no gases on natural, and just mass units, and just I'll win.
Sure.
If I trade properly. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should help. And then if he takes a sword, I just go for the.
Yeah.
From now on,
there's
Hydra then.
Exactly. There's 2 ways this goes. One is you defend it all in. You can do whatever you want after that. 2 is he takes a third. You can do whatever you want after that. Whatever style you prefer to play.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's help. Okay. So the baseline, I get out minerals on a sword, and then think about what I'm going to go next. Okay. That's checkpoint.
Yeah.
To use.
And then from here,
Okay, so.
What's up?
Yeah. That should do for the ZP.
Yeah.
In general, and then I'll try Lord style and.
Okay. And then
so on.
we can do a ZVT now, I guess.
Yeah. Or maybe like ZVZ is better. I don't know. ZVZ is my worst matchup by a mile, actually.
Do you want to do?
With all the losses I take from processes, ZVZ is the worst.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You want me to?
Because okay, usually I go 16 hatch spinning cheese, if I can call it like that, or just I lose.
Do you want me to give you
Because
a? Do you want me to give you a build that's it's a build that can transition into macro, but it is also a build that will probably get you tons of wins early on just because. It's a very strong timing build.
Is it like?
It's Ling Roach.
2 base.
It's
3
3
base,
base.
8 roaches.
It's
link push.
Yeah, it depends on how the lings go, but yeah, it's usually between 8 and 12 roaches. And then you transition into +1 roaches with speed later on. And you can go Roach Ravager or
let's
Roach
like, do you have like the proper standard opener into like Bane Nest transitioned into roaches or like Yuta?
You want I could whatever style you want to see.
The pros play, because I feel like I don't want, since I really want to go like up to 6k in a year or something.
Sure.
I don't want to develop bad habits of like all-in on people, because it will stop working eventually.
Yeah.
When I face bad opponents, it just will stop working.
That's not entirely true. ZVZ is not like the other matchups because
you can cheese the style.
It's not about like being cheesy every game. It's about controlling the third every game, and that is what manages. Like you're thinking about it in the sense that where it's like you're all inning them every game, and we're gonna see if it works. But ZVZ, pro level ZVZ, high level ZVZ is very, very, very heavily about who has more larva and who is more efficient with it, and controlling, like getting a third and controlling the map is a big part of that matchup, unless one player is going to all in the other in terms of like a 2-base timing, which is rare, like a 2-base Nidus all in or some shit. But most people go for a third.
And Diamond 1 is all about 2-base Zergs.
Lower league Zergs is literally 2-base builds all the time.
I struggled a lot since
all right.
Before I like literally refused to build Niduses.
I tell you
what. Like, okay, I'm gonna, if guy sits on 2 bases and I see 4 gases, I'm gonna Nidus this fucker. And I got like 10 wins straight in ZVZ, and I'm like, well, okay, that might win. That might kill a meta player.
I'm gonna give you.
And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop and put a third.
I'm gonna give you the most standard ZVZ.
Yeah, because I'm trying to macro.
This isn't going to be roach timing. This is just going to be standard as standard can be for high level ZVZ.
Like it's like still gets messy, but I can get like quick third. I mean speed link opening, quick third, Bane Nest, and then I'm like, well, what do I do from now?
You just gotta know that you gotta know that you have 2 choices with this. One is if you make more units, you put yourself in a position where you have to do more damage, and the other one is if you make less units.
And I usually try to like make 4 Banes, 2 Queens, I mean 1 Queen extra, have a position, have maybe Sunken.
You can get away with the Sunken if you don't make.
For no reason, and I'm like, well, I failed my micro again, and I didn't hit the golden Baneling this time, so I'm just gonna die on my natural.
Yeah, no, it's.
For the all-in, I mean, I can play better when I have all-in people because I feel like, okay, I'm gonna kill him now, or I lose.
Sure.
And then I go perfect micro, perfect surrounding, perfect like control of units, have 2 Banes in his main morph into Banelings, etc.
Yeah.
And then I play macro and then like, well, derp, let's make 10 more drones for no reason. And then like, I see 40 Spinglings run into my base and I go, wow.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You need to, that's a big deal about ZVZ, and if you're going to play the macro games, you need to know what your plan is before you commit to making something. So the more you make, obviously, the more pressure it puts on having to do something with it.
That's probably that's why the ZVZ is the worst matchup for me.
Yeah.
Because I just make stuff up. I mean, I play. I watch some pro player games and I copy the style up until third minute or fourth minute, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna wander around now.
It's because it's never the same, because it depends on how much their opponent makes and how much they make. The biggest tip I can give you for ZVZ is what we're gonna do right now with our lings, which is we're making 2 lings really early as soon as the pool is done to run across the map right away, and now we're making another 4 lings to cover the 3rd as soon as we throw it down in case our opponent tries to smack it.
That's 6 lings for delayed.
And
Bane nest.
And then we're gonna make a bane nest in a second, yeah. And now you want to count the larva at his base and count his drones at his natural. That's what you always want to do that. And you also, if you can, see his tech and shit like that. Be like, okay, cool. We're looking at the tech and blah blah blah. And you can just get in, get out, and see what you're dealing with more or less. See how much shit is there to.
From this, like exactly this point, the guy can like swinging push me, but it's easy to spot. And I usually still die. I put like one crawler.
The only way you could die to speedling
another
push.
queen, muscling.
The only way you could die to a speedling push right now is if he went for a pool before he took a natural, and you could tell the difference because if you compare your hatchery to his hatchery, you can see that your hatchery is.
No, I mean, it's a standard hatch. I still like fail. Yes, I'm more 4 banes and then I miss micro or something.
Okay.
And I just die. I go a lot when the guy goes early third, like the similar opening, and then like makes shit ton of fling banes and attack me and like fail to defend at all.
Yeah.
I know how to micro that defensively. I mean, I can attack with that because that's easy. You just morph banes, you split them by 2, you move command into the mineral lane and just fight with lings.
Yeah.
And that's it. Guy falls apart. Also me.
Yeah.
If someone attacks me like that, I'm just dying.
Yeah. Well, the big thing too in ZVZ as well is you want to not overreact to things. You want to always be like, again, you always like every minute or 2 want to count the larva and count his drones. It's a big deal, and it will tell you if you're.
Okay, so you're just running past the natural and main.
Yep.
See what he's doing.
And we're not really too worried because like obviously this game is.
Okay.
Yeah. But
that's a note to take.
If there was like no drones and it was like an influx of like mass slings coming or a bunch of like it was like 12 roaches already or 15 roaches, I would not be making drones right now. I would be making units. But if there's
so at any point if I spot something unusual, I just stop droning. I'm mass slings, like mass roaches if I have roach one. More of banes and
always prioritize roaches if you can. But yeah, you would make lings if you need to in terms of your resources, because your gas will be really light in the early stages of ZVZ.
Yeah. I guess so. Go for the carapace upgrade.
You get that later, not yet. Do not get carapace first.
Okay. I like my trend now is to go for the speed upgrade, bane nest, wait like for 30 seconds, put an anyway chamber down, take carapace upgrade, then like all the 12 roaches or 15 roaches,
yeah,
and like go with the roach ling, and like it's really tanky. Lings can withstand even +1 roaches, and I just eat people alive.
Sure. The only thing about that though is if even if lings are tanky with +1 carapace, if there's enough roaches, the lings never get good surface area, and the roaches just continuously kite backwards. And when roach speed happens as well, that kind of drops off really hard too.
Some kind of a timing. I try to see what the layer timing was, so I can like.
Okay, what I'm doing right now is important. This is what you should do. If you want a very standard ZVZ that is going to take you to literally the potential of 6k MMR, this is how you fucking play right here.
That's what I never do. The borrow upgrade is the upgrade which appears in my game only when I misclick and I press R sometimes and I order it in the hatchery and I'm like, well, fuck, I'm gonna cancel it now.
Yeah. So
I just don't know how to use borrow.
I'll give you a tip here in just a second when I start using it. At this point now, we don't need to make, we do not need to make more drones. We're fine because we're about to do a massive timing.
Okay.
So we're literally just gonna max
Okay.
on roaches now, and you could
It's
even
like some kind of 2-1 split into the mineral lines, like 4 roaches per line, and just
yep. And
kite, like destruct them.
and
With main army.
yeah, and check and look at this in just a second. We're gonna have a drop lord full of roaches as well, which is gonna be really annoying. And now we're gonna save the rest of our resources for ravagers. But drop lord,
I'm gonna miss micro it.
you don't have to do any of it. Like, watch this, okay? Drop lord, move it up to the top of the map, move it around the top, shift drop near the gas in the middle line. We're gonna grab like 12 or not that many, 8 roaches. We're gonna hit alt 2. We're gonna burrow it, and we're gonna move it, move it into his middle line, and hold shift, keep holding shift, and hit unburrow. Now that's gone.
Alt 4.
If you hit alt and then the number, it steals them out of the group, and then you can literally move it to where it's like this.
Yeah, I have steal by default.
Sure.
I use only steal hotkeys because I don't know, they're better. And if I want to attack, I just press like the button, which is F2 in the interface, because I have F2 unbound.
Okay.
So that's okay. Okay, so that's like 6 roaches into the natural.
Yep.
I hit a sword. I hit a main.
Yep, and you're not even microing.
Should I fight till I die?
You should you should always force corrosive bile. You should force corrosive bile, and then don't commit after corosive bile.
And then fall back.
Yeah, you should never like shove unless you know you're gonna win. But literally just do this.
Yeah.
Like stagger biles if you
and then
aren't sure if you're gonna win or not, because biles
to
will
keep
just
them distracted. Okay.
Well, it's because if you're hitting him in 3 spots at once, you're not microing the other 2 spots. You're just killing drones simultaneously. And if your opponent notices that's happening and he's trying to run his drones around,
his economy and just distract him.
yeah, if your
then I should win because I have more stuff because he lost his economy.
yeah, and then it also on top of that, if your opponent looks away and he loses a bunch of units to corrosive bile, you then can shove. But you repeat this process over and over and over, and you will have, and as long as you expand while doing this, you will eventually kill him. And most players.
Guy goes like Loka.
But
this time.
This is a style. This is a style that has a massively high skill ceiling. Like, a very good player will always win in a game like that. If you're better than your opponent, you will always win doing this. Like, it's not something that just like caps out, because you overwhelm them repeatedly, and then even if you're not winning a big
what
fight,
if he goes like 3-based Loka? Like Ling Loka.
You get an overseer and you can corrosive bile lurkers, and then back up, and you can force him to move.
I just made so no way he's gonna have the Loka upgrade for the burrow, so I just forced him to unburrow. Okay, I see. Alright,
and you can also, if you make him continuously back up further and further and further, you can get to a point where you start corrosive biling the edge of a hatchery like that, and suddenly you just kill a base.
Oh, okay, that's clear. Do we go in replay now to talk about the responses?
Yeah, don't leave the game, or does it kick you out automatically?
Okay.
I just hit rewind. I don't know if it kicks you out.
I'm alone.
Okay, let's just leave it then.
Got kicked. It's like solo replay stuff.
Alright, I will. I'll try to host it again and see if I can invite you.
Okay. I can join.
Okay.
Or not.
I just invited this exact same time. I think we just broke it again. We fucking broke it again, dude.
StarCraft is not the game. It's like Diablo.
Yeah.
It just breaks for no reason.
There you go. Blizzard's dropping the ball.
Then like, nope, fuck you. You're not gonna watch this replay, man. You know what? I'm stuck in entering lobby. Okay. I have to close my game, I guess.
Sure.
Okay, so let's like talk without the replay a bit.
The big thing, the big thing.
And I see no third.
The huge thing, okay? This is the biggest thing of all. There's 2 things you need to do in ZVZ to make yourself a good ZVZ player. And one is you need to train yourself to watch the minimap at all times so that you don't miss unit floods, and I'm even talking about even during a fight, because you need to know if you're going to get flooded repeatedly. And this is very important when we're talking about establishing a drone count, or if you need to make Massling Bane in the early stage. So watching the minimap is massively important. You just need to know if you're about to make 10 drones versus 20 lings, as that will fucking kill you. The second thing, to confirm that even further, is you need to grab like 2 speedlings, 2 speedlings, something like that, and you need to repeatedly.
Instant scout, like once an inject cycle, let's say.
That's a bit fast. That's a bit fast, but it like about once a minute, about once every like 2 inject cycles, because there's not a whole lot someone can do every 30 seconds, but if you just keep tabs on him like once a minute, you're going to be able to tell clearly before an all-in happens if he's all-inning you, or if he's droning. And if you're also droning and just playing a little safe with a few Banes and Lings, you're more than able to just mass drone up to 3 base and then go roaches.
Okay, so the ZVZ is the matchup when I really want to talk about like stuff which goes underneath the in understanding the scene.
Sure.
Was it 17th hatch or 16th hatch?
It should be 16 hatch. It should always be. Honestly, you could just do 16 hatch against every matchup. I still do 17s against Terran, but 16 is very important against Zerg. And the reason why...
I mean, I do it in ZVP and ZVZ because Protoss can use the early probe to block my hatch, and that's annoying.
Yeah.
And in ZVZ I go for 16 in case I get 12 pulled.
Yep.
I have the more HP and what's called the armor.
Yeah, the armor is the big one.
Faster. Yeah. So I don't lose the hatch. Okay, so I don't have a problem to defend in early lanes. I think except the 13-12.
Do you know how to tell the difference between a 13-12
because
and
I
a 12
usually mess up what exactly he's doing,
Sure.
bailing or speedling or stuff. I try to go 2 queens, if possible, fight for my natural with drones a bit. Not losing them, make a spine.
I can tell you a trick right now that'll help you a lot at analyzing what it is. If you see Lings crossing your Overlord around 150, 152, and you're going straight across the map to his base, that means he's going straight across the map to your base and he's 12 pulling you. If you see Lings crossing your Overlord around 2 minutes, like 203, 204, that is a 13-12.
No, I mean, I can tell the difference between 13-12 and 12 pull. I just, the 13-12 exactly. It can go only speedlings, Link Bane, it can go Link Bane into fucking Hatch.
Okay, I see,
for no reason.
I see what you're saying.
And I just...
So here's the proper response. This is the proper response to no matter what it is, 13-12. Because if it's a 13-12, his natural is going to be very late because you can't mine gas and take a natural that fast. Unless it's only...
question. Should I fight for my natural?
Yes, you should.
13-12?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I fight.
If it's a 13-12 though, you don't need to you do not want to pull drones though. If you pull drones, if you pull drones against Banelings, you're fucked.
No, I mean not in the Banelings. I mean to defend my hatch.
No, I know what you mean. But do not pull drones against 13-12 because Banelings will be quick after he gets there, and if you're stuck in the natural, you're gonna have. I'm not saying you're gonna lose the drones, but you're gonna lose so much mining time that it's going to fuck you over.
Okay. So it's 13-12. I don't pull the drones.
Yeah.
Okay, should I go for a 2 queens spine, 2 queens sling?
This is all you gotta do, okay? Against 13-12, this is all you do. Do not get speed. Instead, stop mining gas with 2 of your 3 drones as soon as you hit 50 gas, and you know it's gonna be a 13-12. What this does is you rip one of those drones and you make them become a spine crawler. Then you rip the other drone and make it become a baneling nest. And you're literally mining with 1 drone then on gas.
Okay. And then spine, queens, and all links into banes? Something like that?
You only have to make 10 Zerglings in this situation. And the only reason why you make 10 Zerglings is because you need to make them to get him off your hatchery. Because he's going to get there late anyways. You're more than able to defend the hatchery without pulling your drones, which is why this is important. So you get him off your hatchery. He backs up for a second. He makes banes. You now have 2 queens. You do not fucking inject, or you do not make a creep tumor. You put 2 queens on the ramp, and you put a spine crawler in a position near your natural. It's very important where you do this. It has to be close enough to the.
On main, like on the edge of the creep.
It's
right?
gonna be in your You're gonna make it in your main, and you're gonna
Right
uproot
here,
it, and you.
if you see.
Hold on. Do it again.
It's like.
No, that's wrong. It's you make it in the main, but you put it in your natural. So you don't want to make it in natural because you won't be able to cover it. If you just build it in the natural, it'll just die. But you do want to uproot it and move it to the natural when it's done. And the reason why is because you will not be able to defend
literally close the ramp on the main.
Yes.
That's a spot. Yeah, that's.
No, it's
Yeah,
that means your hatchery's going to die at your natural though, if you put it in your main. How are you going to stop lings from killing your hatchery then?
Build it, I unburrow it, go down the ramp.
Yeah. You build it in the main because, like I said before, the lings will kill it otherwise if you just build it in the natural while it's building, because your lings are going to be later than his.
And then I walk it down ramp.
And then you walk it down the ramp, and then you block your ramp at the very base of the ramp, the bottom of it, with 2 queens. And then you put the spine far enough away from the queens that it will not get baneling busted. So if he hits your queens with banes, it's not hitting the spine as well. So it has to be far enough away for that.
Yeah, the mineral patch, for example.
That would be fine.
Or in the mineral line.
That would, yeah. But
like,
you also want the spine to be close enough to the queens to where the queens can shoot lings off of the spine.
Yeah, okay.
And then finally,
do I make 1 or 2?
1, just 1. And then the last thing is you also want the spine to be in the range of the hatchery to where no matter where lings are hitting the hatchery, a spine pokes the ling every time a ling tries to smack your hatchery. So like to the left.
So that's between mineral and the hatchery.
Yeah.
Between like the most bottom mineral and the hatchery.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Somewhere like that.
And maybe like
right near the egg.
Have like the top left of the spine touching the egg and the bottom right of the spine touching the mineral patch. That would be perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's clear.
Yeah, and then you only make, like I said, like 10 lings. If this guy goes fucking full Rambo, and let's say one of 2 things happens, he trades his lings against your lings, and then you both reset ling count. You need to make some more lings then. Or if you kind of fuck up a little bit and you run into a bane with more lings than you should have, and you need to you get reset, you need to make more then. But you don't want to make mass lings here. You want to literally only make enough lings to make banes with. Once you get the baneling nest done, which by the time he attacks you first, it's not going to be done. You're probably going to be just about ready to make banes if he does this really fast. If he waits for like reinforcements, so he gets like another round of lings to go for a bigger wave, then you'll have enough time to make banes. But in general, most people will hit you before your banes are ready.
If I have the spine and the 2 queens on the ramp, I win.
Yes, I agree with you. If he goes right away, you do win in that situation. Because you'll also have 2 transfuses in that situation as well. So, but my point is
I mean, if at any point of the game when I get certain 12, I get to the point when I have 2 queens on the ramp, I can close out the game from that point.
Yeah, and then you just want to make sure that you're not making a lot of lings.
Something ridiculous should happen in a game for me to lose it. So that's usually I skip. If I like get 20 lings die on the 1 bane or something.
Yeah. And at that point, you would just now.
I mean, I shouldn't have 20 links in the first.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't have that many links. Because once you have that ramp stabilized, you just resaturate with new drones. You resaturate your gas back to 3 out of 3, and then you rally both your hatcheries down to your natural, because your main this entire time should be at 16 out of 16, and you periodically make banes up to about 4, just so you can be extra safe, and then you just drone your natural. And once you have like 4 banes. You can honestly uproot your spine and put it in the front of the middle of your natural, so it covers the front door, and you have your queens in the front just guarding as well, and your banes can guard if he just dives into your base.
Okay, so let's go forward a bit.
Sure.
No. To the point of like roach warren and stuff.
Yeah, and now
when do I put that?
You this is when you take your 3rd. This is when you also have like an extra 4 lings go to defend your 3rd. You have the 2 lings scouting him, and you make a bane nest. You stop making lings around this time. Unless you know you're getting all in, then you would have to make lings still. But if you see that it's like, okay, we're both kind of like going for, let's just say you're both going for a 3rd base, or he's going for a 2 base wall off. What's up?
I have matching lings number. I'm trying to get matching lings number. And I have like 2 extra when my baneling nest finishes. So I like can morph 2 or 4 banes.
Yeah, that's also why you leave these lings defensive here, and you don't run them across as well, because not only do they guard your 3rd, but they can become defensive banes. And then,
Okay.
so you're baiting.
And then like,
What's up?
oh, that's clear. Let's say we pass that. When do I put the Roach Warren?
You put the Roach Warren
That's
down
the big question.
once you can make a round of drones. You do not want to, like, you have to make a choice. Roach Warren or Bane Nest right after you take the third. That's one choice. You do not make the other tech structure until you squeeze in a round of drones.
Wait. I can get out with the fast Roach Warren?
The fast Roach Warren is the build I was telling you about
Because
a minute ago, like 10 minutes ago, when I was like, it's a 3 base Roach Ling timing.
Oh, okay.
This build is.
Let's go with Bane Nest because
Yeah.
I'll just die with this.
Sure. But yeah, you can still get both.
I feel so unsafe without Banes in VZ.
Sure.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I go either for the 2 base wall off, like no gas, 2 base wall off plus 1 Roach timing.
Yeah.
Or I go 3 base Bane Nest because otherwise I'm just paranoid.
Yeah. Well, right now we you can see our drone count's looking pretty decent. We have not quite. It's like 2/3 of the way saturated on my natural. Once we get like a healthy drone count, then we can take a Roach Warren. And our drone count right now is looking pretty decent. It's not terrible. So we're gonna be taking a Roach Warren here pretty soon. But again, other priorities are always.
Okay. You made like links in case.
Always make links like this. Always.
Our third cancelled.
Yeah, always make links like this. So you make a round of drones.
Oh, okay.
You make a round of drones. You make a third queen. You have your third hatchery finishing. You spend all your money on.
Should I pressure his third?
You can. That's an option. That's why part of the reason why you make these lings, because you can force more units out of him that he might not want to make, or you can poke around and scout him and actually have a realistic safe defense here, because this is not mass lings. This is just it's like 12 lings and 4 banes. It's just safe.
Okay.
And then now you can see in the production tab we have another round of drones, and now we're throwing in the Roach Warren.
Drones again.
We're prioritizing.
Okay, so basically, if he tries to pressure my third like with 20 or 30 lings, like being constantly produced and pressuring me, I just fight it off, delaying my Roach Warren.
Yes, you would have to make instead of making these drones, you would have to you would have had to have made
that's
lings.
Clear, that's clear. Yeah.
And then once again,
and then when the thing stop, I just put down more drones, more Roach Warren, and go on with the build order.
Keep in mind, this is the big one. Prioritize your larva before your Roach Warren. So I don't want you to build a Roach Warren and have 7 larvae sitting there. I want you to spend your larva and then do it. You can see we spent all of ours, and now
if I can make drones, I'll make drones.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm one addicted person.
I'm a greedy man.
Because economy is the key.
That's right.
That's usually how I win games. I have more stuff than my opponent because I have better economy.
Yeah.
And then that's when I feel like really relaxed. I mean, if I have less economy, I'm just being paranoid because how I have to do something.
Yeah.
If I don't do anything, I just die.
And then this is an important part of the game too. This is when you got to make a choice. Okay. So making an Evo chamber and making a Roach Warren around the same time is very standard. Making another gas is very standard right now, once you have that decent economy on your natural. But you need to scout. This is a very important scout timing. This is the second in scout timing that's super important. The first one was the first 2 lings I showed you a minute ago. But now this one, you need to know if your opponent is going to commit to a massive timing, or if they're going to commit to going for drones, and you need to, in some way, shape, or form, be it an overlord behind the mineral line in the open airspace or lings running into it, see if he's droning or see if he's got a fuckload of units that are ready to attack you. Because if you are going to get all in right now and you invest into +1 and layer, you're going to die. So if he's all inning you, make roaches. Like the Roach Warren finishes, make as many roaches as you can. If he's not all inning you, make drones and go into +1. And you're good to go.
I just skipped the layer. I just delayed even.
Yeah,
more.
you do not get a layer if you're
+1.
Yeah.
Because I'm the defending one. I don't need a roach speed. My roaches.
Because if you also scout that he's all inning you, and you're like, oh well, I have 2 gases and a Roach Warren now, and he already has all these fucking roaches or lings and banes or whatever that are getting ready to attack me across the map, that should already tell you as well your economy is better than his. So if you just defend without losing economy, which means you just make roaches right now, and lings as well if you have no extra gas, you're way ahead in this game, because your economy is probably like +8 over his.
Okay.
And then and yeah, it's all and
up the economy.
yeah, and then
5.
You take off
gas.
of 2 gases. You can saturate your third pretty hard, and then as like you can see, I just made another round of drones.
Drones, yes.
And after we
12 drones.
yeah, once we have the drones made, you can then take your more gases. It's fine, but again, the big one is just don't fuck your larva up. That's the massive one. So we're maintaining good economy saturation here. We're still maintaining 16 on the natural. We're still maintaining 16 on the main, and we're grabbing new drones that were just made to saturate another gas, and then we're taking more gas at the third. And this is going to be the Roach Ravager burrow move setup because it is very gas expensive. And then finally
We go up to 6 gases.
yeah, and then finally the last
With
gas in
delay
our main
of-
is there. You go. What?
Okay.
What are you gonna say?
Trying to memorize things.
Okay.
I'll just
And right now too, this is
rewatch the replays, but
once you have all 66 drones, take a 4th base. Just start it immediately. It's like
okay, so full base saturation.
and then right here,
Noted.
this is when you want like when your upgrade's like 90% of the way done.
Halfway done. I get this. Okay.
When your upgrade, your +1 is like 90% of the way done. Throw down a second evo, so you can time out +2/+1 when your first upgrade finishes, and then immediately start burrow move and
Oh, so I'll have the big diamond with 2/1.
Yes.
Eaten, exactly the same.
yeah,
Okay.
and then start tunneling claws and burrow. As soon as don't start burrow until you start tunneling claws, but then start those together once speed's done, and then as soon as you
Okay.
can afford it, start overlord speed as well, and
So that's clear.
then just start.
One last question about ZVZ.
Sure.
Yeah, I get it now.
Okay.
What if he goes like roaches? I scout roaches. I see. Okay, that's he doing something, and the guy goes like late spy with like 10
Burrow
evos
move.
or something.
Burrow
Kill
move will
my Ravagers.
burrow move will fucking destroy him. Just
Oh,
stop
oh,
making
I see,
just
I
stop
see,
making
I see, I
Ravagers
see.
then, and just go burrow move, and then make a Hydra den and get level 2 Carapace, and just go burrow move
I
roaches
see.
into Roach Hydra.
Yeah, that's the answer because I usually die for that kind of stuff, and then I go for the burrow.
And then if the game doesn't
Okay.
end there either, and it stabilizes, make sure you get either lurkers or infestors to deal with banes.
Okay. Okay, that's clear. Okay, thank you. So, do we have time left? Or no?
It's been an hour, but if we want to, I don't mind. We can go through one more really quick. We'll just do a fast one for the ZVT.
I can watch the stream on this one because okay, one question first. Is the one gas stuff still viable in ZVT?
Yes.
I mean, is it good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So okay. So do you have a replay ready about a real? I mean, from your other games or
Here,
something?
well, how about this? How about we just watch the replay of me playing Terran against Pig, because he literally just did it to me exactly about
That's fine.
earlier today. Where the fuck is it?
That's fine. So I open the stream without the sound though.
I can't. Where the fuck is it? Pig, where are you? How many games? Oh, there it is. I played a lot of games today. Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, chat is making fun of my English. I'm sorry, people. I'm not a native speaker. I'm sorry.
You're doing great, dude. You're doing wonderful. Okay. So I don't mind
Okay.
if you want to.
The person who taught me. I mean, I stole the build order from his stream first. The one gas one.
Sure. That's people steal build orders all the time. It's okay.
Yes.
It's totally fine, dude. All right, I'm gonna go through this really fast, okay? The Pig thing.
Okay.
So, because he plays it super standard, which is exactly what you're looking for right now. So you can see.
Okay, the drone scout is really odd.
Well, okay, so yeah, I was actually random, but he sees I'm Terran, and he ends up going for an expansion. The rest of it becomes super standard. Goes for gas, pool,
Yeah.
gets speed. He'll take 2 drones off. He actually takes 1 drone off at 50. What a beast. It doesn't matter. He's getting speedlings. We'll just summarize it really fast. He gets
I think
speed.
he tried to get better mineral economy by taking
Yeah, I know he did.
one drone early.
Yeah, he's not
Is your student Russian?
prioritizing massive like speedling timing. But he is defensively using speedlings a little bit. He can see that I'm going into Hellions and shit like that. He gets 2.5 base saturation, and he takes a roach. He takes a roach one at 2 base, and then he goes up to 2.5, kind of like we do in ZVP. It's very similar to ZVP. And right now, if he wants to be safe about this, he should honestly make a few more units because he has 9 Zerglings. He actually did just make another round of Lings here. They're just spawning right now. So the 9 Lings is decent.
Yeah, as a rule of thumb, I have like 10 Lings always in my natural in case of YOLO Hello.
Yeah, that's good. You should. And this is around the time when
I fight them with queens, and Terran just goes, "Yo, I'm gonna go into natural."
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Just
Terrans love doing it. And then so the Roach one finishes. He prioritizes the Roach one before a Bane Nest. He doesn't really get a Bane Nest at all. He sees in my base 2 with an Overlord Scout that I am going mech, so he's going to skip Banes altogether. And he makes queens. He actually made 4 queens, and he has all 3 of them in the front. This is, I'm not going to lie, this is something I don't know if I super agree with.
It's not a 1 gas opener. It got like really fast. Because 1 gas opener is about getting like 40 drones and minerals fast.
Mm-hmm.
Queens and like Ling Bane stuff. And then transition to roaches if you scout something. I think it just died somewhere between patches and I just didn't notice.
So right now, taking a gas is pretty... If you take a gas right now, this is pretty standard. Taking a gas when you're fully saturated on 2 bases, a second gas is pretty standard.
Oh, okay, so 2 bases, 2 gases. Okay.
Yeah, like you get speed, you stop mining with all but 1, and then you fully saturate 2 mineral lines, and then go back up to resaturating your main gas and take a second gas.
Yeah, okay.
And he also even delays it a bit more. He actually puts his drones on his 3rd and then takes his gas. And he double gasses behind it too. Like he but this is off of a good economy now. He already has 56 drones when he starts mining these gases, really. Like, pretty much.
He gets a Roach Warren.
And he goes Roaches for Hellion, like, factory-based openers.
What I do against the BC?
Against BC, you just need... So, you would ideally want to scout it to a point. You would want to scout... And here's 2 ways you scout it, okay? Number 1, Overlord just sees it. Great. Fucking wonderful. Number 2, you see more than 2 Hellions every 30 seconds. So if you see, okay, well, he's got a fucking Cyclone now, or he's got something else, that means it's not going to be BC super fast. The more he makes out of something else, the less likely BC is coming really fast. But the longer he sticks to 2 Hellions, 30 seconds later, 2 Hellions, 30 seconds later, 2 Hellions, that tells you, even if you didn't see it with an Overlord, that is a fucking Starport build. And then if it's a Starport build, you can preemptively start making more queens. It will zone out Liberator builds, it will zone out Banshee builds, and it will zone out BC builds, and 90% of the time it's going to be a BC build.
Okay. So, okay, so I go for like Sporage base, more queens, and what I do if he goes like, that's with the BC or like Banshee, do just micro with queens?
Yeah, you put spores in your mineral line right around 5 minutes. If you don't see it,
I have roaches.
Yeah, if you don't see the shit, you put it, just blind spore that shit at 5 minutes. If you know there's a starport, and then yeah, just move your queens to wherever the hell you have to move them, and exactly roaches will zone out the Hellions. And you stop making roaches between 8 and 10. 10 is extra safe. 8 is pretty standard.
Okay, so I can like get away with 5. I'm safe with 8. I'm extra safe with 10. Okay.
Yeah, and then if 5 is kind of pushing it. 5 is like he can run by you and kill drones possibly, because if your queens are completely opposite, if queens and roaches are there, 5 is fine. But if queens are completely gone to deal with the BC, 5 is kind of scary.
Is there like to one-shot a Hellion? I don't know actually.
Roach does 16 and a Hellion has 90, so it would be 6 Hellions, or 6 shots.
Oh, I see why 5 is not enough. I need to one-shot Hellion, so I like kill at least 2 while he's just passing by my roaches.
Yeah, well you
surround.
And the more roaches you have too, the more surface area you block him with. So it's just 5 is, I will tell you right now, 5, there's a chance he will be okay, But there's also a chance that he will drive by you if you're not perfectly positioned, and he will fuck your drones up more than you would like.
Oh, okay, I see.
So I would say 8 is minimum for being actually safe. And then
Okay. So
go ahead.
somehow to rewatch it later.
Do you
Like
want
any replay that you find good
Sure.
with the Zerg playing like this kind of style?
Do you want this
This
replay
kind
too?
of opener.
I could just give
I
you
mean,
this replay if you want.
yes, this one or like any good one.
Sure. But for something I agree with Pig on is this is I guess one last thing we can talk about because this game isn't over now. If you ever see a Terran going for heavy amounts of the Hellion Cyclone, which is something that's also pretty common, I would say, I think going mass roaches into speed on roaches, and that's it. Don't stop making lings, and stop making don't make banes, don't make anything else. Just go roaches. After you have good saturation, and you get that off of like the 10 roaches or 8 roaches, full saturate 3 bases, and then go back into roaches again.
Right?
What's up?
No upgrades.
No, you do not need upgrades right now. It's going to fuck you over. There's way more important things again that you need to be getting. Like roach speed is one, amount of roaches is another, and infestation pit is another. That's super important as well, because if best case scenario, you let the Hellion Cyclone come to creep, you then shove into it and you focus fire cyclones. You will easily win the game if you can manage to do this. If you don't, if the Terran's good enough to not let that happen, though.
Oh, because Hellions are shit against roaches.
Yeah, like Hellions don't even matter. It just kill the Cyclones and you're gonna win. Because it also you can't recover Cyclones that fast. Cyclones only get scary if it gets to a point where you let it get to like 10, and suddenly he's popping shitloads of roaches at once. But then once you have infestors, once you have a good amount of roaches where you're fine, you can also then add in infestors, and you don't have to make mass infestor. You make like seriously 4 or 5. And then you let him commit, fungal him, and then you get amazing trades.
Yeah.
Behind this, you go into a hive and aspire, and you can go into and then you can go back into Zerglings with like broodlords, infestors, things like that, and that is a solid ass way to play against a mech style like this. And
okay, well, what I do with the roaches was like those 8 roaches with the safe ones. If the guy goes bio.
If he goes bio, so you should, you can still zone out like medevacs with your queen. If he goes bio, so think about it like this, okay? If he goes bio, your queens and roaches will be together because there's not going to be a battlecruiser in your base because he's making medevacs instead. Or if it is gonna be bio after a BC, it's gonna be really fucking late bio, so it's not just gonna be 8 roaches. That you're gonna have way more time to deal with it.
Oh, I see. So I basically kill the guy with the roaches if I go BC.
Defensively, yeah. You can kill his shit defensively with roaches if he rushes you with bio.
Tossed into me, he's just dead. Okay,
yeah.
I see.
And then you can do whatever you want from there. You can literally even go Roach Ravager and try to bust him, or you can just transition into double Evo Chamber melee Carapace at that point and go for like Ling Bane Hydra, or just Ling Bane into Ultra. Literally whatever the fuck you want. Again, whatever style suits your playstyle.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll send you this replay as well.
That's
the pig one, just so you have an example right now.
Yeah.
But thank you, dude. Do you have any other questions before we call it?
Yeah, one about the VOD. Is it gonna be on YouTube or something?
Fuck yeah, it is.
I mean, I would want to rewatch it.
It's gonna be there, dude. I'm gonna post it later tonight, and then I'll give you a link to it on Discord as well later tonight.
Thanks to you. Big thanks. I have some really big amount of Flutter games to play now.
Sure, man. I wish you the best of luck.
Trying to implement the knowledge.
Own
thank you.
The ladder up, dude. And thank you as well. I'll see you next time, dude. All right, guys. That's gonna be the end of my coaching lesson. Argentum Heart, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Guys, if you liked it, I have a lot more coaching lessons all over the place. Check out more of them if you're interested. And yeah, man, that one was a bit, I would say that coaching lesson was a little different, but it's all good. We still got a lot of points across. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Peace, guys.